everyone. Happy Wednesday. Okay, as I told you last week, I'm actually down here in Tulum. I've been here for a few days. It's amazing. I am so love being with my girlfriends, with my tribe, and just relaxing and restoring and just really connecting to me. So I'm excited, really excited about this show today, because one thing about this conversation that we're going to have, it has lots of layers. And all of you out there know that I love layering. I always say I'm the queen of layering. No matter what it is, I'm layering something either around my neck or on my wrist or on my face or on my skin. I just love it. So today we're going to be talking about skincare. And this is an interesting topic for me because my skin is an indication for me of what's going on in my body. And we very often understand when things on our skin are not quite as balanced, or things in our body are not quite as balanced, if it's our gut or if it's our sleep or stress, which we've been talking about a lot on these conversations, it actually shows on our skin. So for me, the skin is such a huge indicator of what's going on the inside. And I am so kind of borderline obsessed, as you know, of what goes in my mouth, because what goes in my mouth, I always say, actually creates who I am. It becomes my cells, and that actually becomes Lavinia and my health and everything else. So for that same reason, I am clearly as obsessed about what goes on my skin, because I also know what goes on my skin will end up in my bloodstream. And so I am very particular about what I would put on my skin. So that's what I love. That's one layer of what I love about our conversation today. Color science, trust me, it definitely checks all the boxes that I look for. The safety, the efficacy, that's even good for the planet. Like all of those boxes get checked. But again, here comes another layer, because I love layers. The other layer is very often when I look underneath the veil of what's going on with a product that I really love, that I connect with, that I would kind of say is my frequency. What I learn about that product is that the people that are running that company have that same level of integrity, and that's what I love about our guest today, Mary Fisher. She is that bold, powerful, actually award-winning entrepreneur, for sure. And she's heart-centered. And what I love about this conversation we're going to have is that Mary and her team, she really understands it's not an I in team, it's really a team. They did some things during this pivot that were really inspiring, definitely heart-centered. And that's where I think if we really want to make changes in the world, we really want to make changes in our country, like we have to come to that place. So that's where all my layers are. So now I want to welcome the CEO, woman who's had huge successes, not only in one industry, but in the pharmaceutical industry, in the skincare, biotech. I mean, this woman really is a rock star. So please welcome Mary Fisher. Hi.
Hi, Lavinia. Thank you for that introduction. It's been an honor to meet you and get to know you, and it was so kind of you to share those words. But thank you for having me on your program today.
Yes, I'm so excited. So as you know, I've been using, well, first of all, I want to let everyone know, I actually started using your eye product because that's like one of the areas that's always like under my eyes. I'm like one of those people that in the past you would opened up a drawer and I would have 100 different concealers or 100 different, because under my eye is like, that was like the area where it was my so-called problem area. But when I found your product years ago and it had a sunscreen, I mean, that became my go-to product. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I've been using the foundation, well, it's not really a foundation. I've been using your mineral cream. And the truth is, I've never been a person that likes foundation because I am so about my skin. I always was like, wow, I don't want to cover my skin up. Like, that's my strong suit, is my skin. Like, that's one of the things people like, wow, you have beautiful skin. But what I found was with your product, when I put it on, my skin just like, I swear, it's as if my skin was saying, I love this product, Lavinia. I love this product, because my skin just glowed. It was so radiant and so beautiful. And then the best part of it was that it was actually a sunscreen. So, and I am, crazy about not getting, because I have a tendency to get brown spots. So I can be a little crazy about that. So it was a sunscreen. So it really is such a unique product. So tell us a little bit about this product and what makes it so unique. I know by using it what it makes unique, but let us know.
Well, you are our consumer profile, absolutely. And it's, young, busy, vibrant women who make decisions for their own health and also for the health of their family. So we're always trying to do more than one thing. And like the eye area, you said, almost every woman has one of 5 common eye concerns. And so we set out to address all 5. We always start with high levels of SPF, so sun protection. That's a strong core value for us, not just for anti-aging purposes, but to prevent skin cancer. And then we move to clinical grade skincare ingredients. Make sure that those play well along with the sun protection ingredients to provide benefit for skin concerns. Like you mentioned, the brown spots, I have them as well. And it is absolutely a sun protection issue. But if we can treat underneath the product, right, treat the skin, then when she washes her face, at the end of the day, she sees her skin continue to improve. And then a little bit of color for that immediate benefit always. And to counteract the physical sunscreen, we only use zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, and they're opaque white powders. There's no way to make them invisible. So we offset that by making them look like the skin. So a little bit of color in all we do.
I have to tell you, one other thing is it never creases. Like other products that I've used have literally creased. And then, you take off your sunglasses and you're like, ooh, like you got to like pat it down. Like it doesn't crease. I mean, it really, like, that to me is like magic.
It's for all of us. I think a little bit goes a long way. And so that helps to make sure it's not, winding up in spots where it doesn't need to be.
Oh my gosh, it really is amazing. So I've listened to a couple of your interviews, and where you said, if I could drop our Colorescience sunscreen from airplanes. Now I know it's made with mineral powders, physical barrier approach, and I love this product. But I also really love that quote. Like, I love that quote. Like, I think to myself, oh my God, like she wants to just fly a plane there and drop it down so that everyone can use it. Like, tell us why that quote for you is a quote that's like really important to your heart.
The center of our values is this protection element. And sun protection is so important for all reasons, but it exacerbates all the skin concerns that we treat. But it also causes skin cancer. And so we crusade every year. We tend to think of how many lives can we protect? How many people can we get to use this product and protect themselves? It's so easy and convenient. You can carry it. You can leave it in your car. It's a great purse product. You can put it on your kids. So that we just want it to be widely available. And a big part of that distribution are the doctors who develop our products with us and then carry them and dispense through their practice. And as a powder, it's by far the only dosage form that really gets to that reapplication. We're supposed to reapply every 2 hours. and it really helps with that.
Well, I even found that you can layer it, because I say layer. You can layer it, the powder, after the 2 hours, because I don't necessarily love to take the container with me, but that powder is so easy to travel that even when you put that over the cream, it doesn't cake up. It doesn't do stuff that other products really have done. Like you guys have just mastered the formulation to make that just glide on the skin and stay on the skin and not do all those like not so attractive things that most products do,
Thank you. I know our head of R&D, Patricia Boland, is hearing that, and it's music to her ears, and also our technology partners over at Colorescience. We continue to innovate, not just in the powder formulation itself, but in the brush itself, so that dosing platform is also a patented component of the product. And it really allows us to evaluate not just UV protection, but blue light protection, and also pollution protection. So we keep on going. We really believe in that format. And now we've added other dosage forms to that total protection platform, just for everybody's convenience.
I have to tell you, I'm so happy that I love that product so much because, sometimes I am that person when I know, okay, this is really good for me. I have to put this on, and especially, we had a lot of fires in LA. And, even if I was going to run out and just be in my car and not necessarily be in the sun, but I knew when I was putting that on with the fires and with the pollution from the fires, like you need an extra layer of protection for sure. So it really made a difference. And it, for me, when a product is great, it's like, it's transformative. It's like, it's amazing. I know that sounds like hokey, but that's how I feel about a product that I really love. And I think it's, and like you said, I see your product all the time in doctors, in doctors' offices, surgeons' offices, and I think that is also puts its stamp on it in a different way, because doctors, especially with skin cancer and our ozone layers changing as much as they are, I mean, we're hearing of younger and younger people getting skin cancers and situations. So it really needs to be an essential, like sunscreen, like people need to put it in their head that this is an essential. It isn't just when you go to the beach. It isn't when you play tennis. It isn't when you go hiking. Like this is an essential. And when you have a product that's great and it's an essential, it's like, okay, I can use this. It isn't like, oh, I got to put this white stuff on and I have to look really like a clown or, whatever. Years ago, the lifeguards would put that white zinc on.
Exactly.
So,
yes. Our goal is looks like nothing, protects from everything.
I love that. I just love that because it really, like I said, it is an essential today. Okay, so now I want to just shift a little bit into your personal brand of entrepreneurship and leadership at Colorescience. And that's something that we have a lot of young entrepreneurs that listen to and are part of our community. So we've really talked a lot about entrepreneurships and pivots and what really great leadership looks like on many levels. And, we all know that to be a great leader, you have to walk the walk, right? You have to walk that walk. You have to have clarity on who you are, and there's a level of confidence, there's a level of education. There's so many layers, again, that make somebody a really great leader and be able to really drive a team. So I want to really understand a little bit about how you build teams, because I know that you've built teams in different areas in the pharmaceutical company, now in the skincare, and that you've, been awarded for your entrepreneurship and your leadership and a little bit of how you're doing it. I know you guys are primarily a female company. You have a female team. And of course, I would probably assume, 80% of your customers are female?
Almost.
Okay, all right. And then like, I want to understand how you lead, what that looks like. And then also what the difference might be in a company where it's more gender balanced, because I think there's always questions for people like, how would leadership shift there, or would it shift there?
Yeah, so I think, thank you for that question. I think it is important for women, especially now, thinking about embarking on new directions or working from the home. There's a lot going on that feeds into that entrepreneurial spirit. And I think it's important to listen. That has to be, as a leader of a team, it's really critical to listen. I have the joy of working with brilliant people, men and women, but we are a majority female workforce. That is a good point. And I think it is a good input for what we do, because we are our target consumer and we are many of our physician partners. And so it's really helps us to get into the empathetic side of the relationship. And so not only bring passion for what we do, but have passion for what they do and what they're facing, and incorporate that into our day. So I would say we're very customer centric. And we want to, for the consumer, we want to meet her where she lives and help her find. Maybe she's never been to a dermatologist, right? We're big on pressing on, get your skin check, your annual skin check. Did you know what other things are available to you to achieve your goals? And so not just be, buy my product, right? But engage in an experience that women are undergoing, help them meet each other, whether it's consumer to consumer, or us to our partners, all through that holistic system, and make sure that everybody gets to win a little more for interacting with Colorescience.
I love that. What about, I mean, I've had a lot of friends who've been, obviously, probably 80% of the people are working from the home today. And, some of my friends are like, they have 3 kids at home. They have to get their kids on Zoom schooling by 8 o'clock. And their bosses, who are, predominantly all males, are calling a 7:30 Zoom meeting. And they're just like, wow, like there's no awareness of what is going on today. Like we're in a new normal. Like we're new. Like we have to get real that this situation is real. We have to adapt for sure. And yet we just have to be able to look at this and say, this is the situation we're in. How do we make that work? So it's a win-win, because obviously you don't want your business to slip in any way. And you have people like, again, this is a pandemic. This is not like a personal choice. And I think, Mary, you guys have done a beautiful job of adapting in that way. Could you share a little bit with how your leadership and your culture supports the change that we're living in right now?
Yes, of course. And again, listening. So Heather Goodchild, the head of our professional business, as soon as it looked like practices were going to be shutting down, started hosting, online meetings, discussions like this one with a group of physicians. And these are our friends. We've been together with them for years. We needed to hear, what are they going through? What are they anticipating? Are they developing protocols for returning to practice, right? And that informed our business directions. Sanem Ahern, who runs marketing, she and her team do consumer surveys and are really great about detecting through online digital marketing or online consumer behaviors or social media directly, can kind of sense, what's the tone we need to be listening for? What are people going through? And of course, the reality for us, the first indicator to me that this was going to come fast back in March, was that the schools were going to shut down. And my moms needed to go home. And so, quickly pulled together and thought of ways to accommodate each other that work. And you know what? We also we're comfortable with each other. We work in an environment where any brand advisor would tell you, it'd be great if you come off as authentic, let people know who you are, but then suggest a cost-based marketing effort that really is just a way to show, that you buy one, you do some good somewhere else. I think those initiatives are important, but so is just being actually authentic, not trying to be authentic.
Right,
And so
right.
that's part of who we are. You know, I love to see the cat walk across the camera on our calls. I love it. I love to meet the kids in the background, you know. It's, especially since we're not together, we're a close group. It's fun to get a window into everybody's home life, and keep it real.
I mean, keeping it real is such a big thing because, you know, for so long, everybody was just trying to look perfect. You know, let's just be perfect. And I feel like so much time and energy for people is like proving their worth, proving they're worthy of this job, and proving I'm worthy of a promotion, and proving that, like, look at me, I'm perfect. They walk in and, you know, like, life is not about perfection, you know, especially we're human beings, you know, and some people will be thrown a curveball and they can handle it a certain way, but other people, they get thrown that curveball depending on the circumstances, you know, their life, 3 kids and so forth. That curveball hits in a whole different, you know, level of a curve, right? So it's
Yeah.
being able to, and I met your team, and you know, my team always would say like how lovely everybody on your team was, you know, like they were just, you could just tell like they were happy working there. You know, there was a good feeling of loving the brand, loving the culture, like just even respecting and loving each other. Like, you know, sometimes I hear in business, oh, there's not room for love. Like, you don't, and I'm always like, no, that's where the magic is. Like, I believe when I built my company, part of that was that we were a family. So there was that love there. And then everybody that came in to work with us, it was like the next thing you know, they're like, I'm part of the family, you know? And it was that energy, that frequency, that vibration that got everybody so excited. And you really, you have that there. And that's just, it's really amazing.
Thank
Really.
you. We have each other's backs, and I know that you do as well. And I love your vocabulary, as you know, because I think that's an important word. And the importance behind it is, of course, it can only thrive if there's real caring and mutual respect, as in any relationship. And so that's where I don't think it's inconsistent with business language at all, because we have to respect each other and, you know, especially right now, care enough for each other to realize everybody's going through something.
Ah,
There's something behind the scene for everybody. So if somebody's a little crabby one day or the email isn't perfectly toned, you know, like, let's take a breath. We know who we are. We're not together in the office. We can't walk across the hall and say, can I check in with you? But we can check in virtually, and we do very often.
this wasn't really one of the questions that we asked, but now that we're talking, I feel like there is a question I want to ask you. It's just coming up for me is that, so now we have all these changes, right? There's changes in the way we're doing life. And again, there's these little breakdowns because again, you can't not have it. And I always say wherever there's a breakdown, there's a opportunity for a breakthrough, right? Like there's an opportunity for a breakthrough if you're present and you're seeing and you're doing it. Like, are there any breakthroughs that you're seeing in your company that you're going, wow, like, okay, this working at home isn't such a bad idea. We could be, even when we go back, we could be doing this part time. Or like, is there anything that's popping for you that you maybe didn't see that before this situation?
I think there are a few that are bubbling up, and one of them is just that. You know, if this is working so well, and I would say we actually improved productivity in the immediate,
I love
and being being omni-channel also allows us. You know, we can lean in slightly different directions depending on what's going on with one of our customer groups. But I think importantly, you have to ask. And one of our leaders, one of our male leaders, Steve Loomis, he runs our multifunctional meeting, our integrated team performance meeting. And he starts almost every meeting asking how people are doing. So, all right, so where's everybody's kids? Are they in school? Are they in the home? How are you holding up? What time of day do you need to work with? And of course, that gets worked out mostly inside department teams, because that's where the accommodation is the easiest. But he puts that out there as a management mandate, and people are free to talk about it. And we can even have a little fun with it, like go get your cat, go get your dog, go get your kid, put them on the screen for a second so we can all know and appreciate. And then at the end of every meeting, he closes on a quote from somebody like yourself who's been a leader and kind of seen a lot, and kind of a big thought thinker about certain topics. And it always has something to do with what's going on in real time externally. And it's a very common, okay, so the world has seen this before and they've dealt with it, and here's a nice way to think about it. And it keeps us together. And when we run out of time, that's one of the things that goes first. And the team's always like, no, what about the quote? So we need these.
I love that. Yeah. It's almost like the last show, we talked a little bit about fragrances and smells. And there was that saying, like, stop to smell the roses. And, the thing that's so amazing with that, because actually when you would smell the rose, it actually would change your chemistry in your body. Mm-hmm. And that's where I feel like even as companies, like they're taking the time to do just that, to connect, to like have like what I would call heart-centered connections with people. And, that's amazing. And I admire you guys for doing that, because I don't always hear that. Like, some of the stuff that I'm hearing from the young women that I mentor, when I hear what their bosses are doing, I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, like nothing about it is evolved. Nothing about it feels like, wow, I want to jump out of bed in the morning and work for him. Like, it would be more like, oh my God, I need to like get my resume out as quickly as possible.
Well, then she's extra lucky to have you as a mentor.
Oh, because it's like crazy. And, I'm always the one that's always trying to find the positive in everything. Let's turn over another stone. Like, we got to make this positive. Where can you be more accountable? And I even got to the point where I'm just like, you need to see a headhunter, because like, it was just so clear that that train is like stopped. Like there's nowhere else. Like it's just, he's got too much fear going on. And when you have that much fear as a leader, that fear just shows up in the most dysfunctional ways, like, as you know. So I love that. And one other thing that you guys do that I really am impressed by, because I haven't seen that, quite honestly, with other people that I've spoken to, is that what I've seen is a lot of times, like people, doctor's offices, spas, nail shops, whatever their product is that are sold in these places, as soon as that went down, all of a sudden everybody just kept coming to their website to buy their product. And they were like, kind of, great. Oh my God, this is amazing. I'm making more money than God. But what you did, what I thought was like, when I learned that, I was like, oh my God, they really are so evolved. You didn't just do that and say, great, all these people have got hooked on our product. They were buying it at their doctor's office. Now they're just going to come to our website. Boom. Like you literally went out and figured out ways to partner with those people. And I have to tell you, Mary, like I am so impressed with that, because that is not the norm.
That's my team. It's really, we really keep our sort of mantra in front of us, which is do good, have fun, and make a difference. And we're not going to sit there and watch our physician partner practices shut down and not bring something else from our holistic environment to them to try to overcome that loss. So because we are omni-channel, we could put up practice pages, we leverage our loyalty program, and we believe in meeting our consumer wherever she lives, wherever she's searching. I want her to be able to find Colorescience, and then we can be a gateway to a wide variety of resources for her. And one of those all important resources are our professional partners.
I mean, again, that it's just admirable, because most people would just look at, there's such an opportunity to to bring the money to their own brand. So I commend you for that. I don't know if everyone in our community knows this channel. Can you just share with us what that is?
The professional channel?
Yes.
Yes. So we describe it as our physician partners. These are dermatologists, plastic surgeons, and medical spas that provide skincare treatments. And those treatments might be injectable treatments, hyaluronic fillers, which can, build up a portion of the face that might be either sagging or missing for another reason, illness sometimes. And then laser treatments. So intense pulse light. These are treatments that take off that skin damage that's below the surface, brings it to the top, and moves it off the skin. And so they also provide surgeries, all kinds of surgeries, including Mohs surgeries, which we wish, we didn't have to have, but critical for the survival of people who do find themselves down a path of skin cancer. So those physicians provide treatment services, and they also recommend take-home care. And that is a very powerful moment. When I meet people I used to meet them on airplanes all the time, but they'd see me working and they'd take a brush out of their purse. And that brush you were talking about, right? Oh, I know Colorescience, always followed with, I got it from my physician. My doctor gave it to me, right? And that's that Velcro that shows this isn't any old product. This is care for you. And it's important that you use it every day. And that's where we really see the ability to make a difference.
And is that channel, can the consumer go on that channel? Is that for everyone, or is it just?
A lot of our physician partners, so we've always talked about partnering within the hours of the practice and the walls of operation. And we try to extend beyond that, because we know that when a patient has a treatment at the office, if something doesn't go on the face to protect her from the sun and calm the skin down, right, and maybe even cover up a little bit of what was done, then she leaves with the instructions, don't put anything on your skin, go straight home. She gets in the car, reaches in her purse, gets her makeup, puts it on. So there's a practical aspect to what we do. And so we call it leaving the practice with your chin up, comfortable and confident, but most important, protected from the sun and looking great. So a perfect calling card for the practice. And so that's very much going to the doctor, getting the product on your skin, and leaving with the product to take care of yourself at home. Many of our accounts have their own websites, and so they can sell that way as well. But then we've opened partnership pages. So if people don't have their own website, or they simply want to move it through our e-commerce machinery, we can do that for them. And we find that their patients really feel good about the fact that it's obvious they're buying it from their physician through our website as well.
It's nice. It's like I live in Malibu, and I always try to buy as much as I can locally. I always feel like if I can go and buy it locally and, keep the small businesses going, it makes you feel good. And it would be the same thing. Like if I got exposed to a product from a certain place, it always annoys me. Like my friends do this sometimes, and I'm always like, when they get introduced to a product at somewhere, and then they're looking to see if they can buy it online. And they're like, oh, I'm going to buy it on Amazon. I'm like, you know what? Amazon's making enough money. Like, like that doctor really had to work and possibly go to shows and meet so many different people and curate tons of different product before he actually put that in his case to say, I believe in this product. Like, give him the business,
Well, Amazon isn't 100% evil. We partnered with Amazon.
No, they're not. I don't mean it like that, but you know what I'm saying.
We partnered with them again in the interest of our physician partners, because in the environment called the marketplace, we had unauthorized resellers discounting the product. Now, that doesn't make a good impression when the physician is staying true to pricing and providing care, but she sees it for 30% less on Amazon. So we partnered with Amazon Luxury Beauty, and that allows us to really keep that clean. And that way And we have a loyalty program. So, you know, a patient can come on our website and buy the product. It doesn't do me any good to try to steal a patient from one of my physician partners. So she can interact with our website, and it has the same share with the physician. We stay together with them.
Okay, great. I do have another question for you. We have a lot of young entrepreneurs on, right? Like they're all, some of them haven't started businesses. Like, what would you say? Okay, these are the top 3 things that you have to get set before you, before you start it or while you're starting it. Like, what do you think the most important things are to start building your own business?
Well, I think you mentioned one earlier, which if you can have one or several mentors, that can be really powerful. It is for me. I've had many, many mentors in my career. Right now, 2 of the most active on my board, actually, Adele Oliva, who brought me into skincare back at Skin Medica and is now my lead investor at Colorescience. And then Nikki Kinnaird, you know, the founder of Space NK, is on my board of directors, and also, like Adele, a friend and a mentor. And so I think there are principles that they do need a little situational analysis around them. So one is, be passionate about your purpose, right? Now, if you're in an environment like we are right now that is highly charged, and we have a lot of medical concern, we have political concern, societal concern. So, you can't be uncaring about the environment that you're entering. But when your purpose adds value, be passionate about it. I think Nikki would call that having courage in your instincts, your intuitions, have courage. And then the second for me is be a learner. And that's why I treasure my mentors as much as I do. You can only adapt quickly if you're really listening and learning to your surroundings and caring about the people that you interact with, right? And then normally I would say, manage risks, but take them. But I went through my notes from a recent conversation with Nikki, and I think she said it actually in one of our board meetings, is right now, be the brand that cares more. It's really important. And so we have that throughout the company. Every member of the team has that in who they are and how they approach their job. And then to hear it in the boardroom is really gratifying and galvanizing. So I know that even my investors and directors are with me in that sentiment.
That is amazing, and that's powerful, really powerful. Be the brand that cares more. I mean, that just says it all. It really, on all aspects of it. It's like you care more, you're kind, you're connected. I mean, it's all of that. It's really what makes you guys a huge, huge game changer. I mean, I love what you do. I'm really appreciative to have you take time from your busy day to share your story and your brand with us. And I love it. And I love the mist too.
Good.
I love that mist. It's like, oh my God, like that mist is like to die for. I'm always supposed to.
Hydration is good.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm really so appreciative. And again, amazing. Thank you.
Well, you're amazing. And thank you for sharing yourself and this format with us all, because you inspire all women and you give women a really great name. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Okay, well, we're taking off next week, guys. So happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you on December 2nd.